The glorious sounds of a base at work. I've used a lot of steel lately. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Divine Journey 2. I have been hard at work since the last time. We set up a bunch of automations last time, and I've set up a heck of a lot more between videos. But last times were important ones with the quarry getting set up, and before we got the quarry set up, so last time's video actually wound up into two separate videos. I have a habit of doing too much. But we set up our mana dust production, which included RF and GP powder production. But we now have mana dust automated. We also have all of the stuff for mithril ingots automated. So I added it onto that wall over there. It is now fully automated over there as well. I have also I've upgraded some of our stuff. Like, I've upgraded this system here because I burned through all of our dark ingots, and it looks like we are out of oil sand. I'll have to get some more of that. And the reason why we are out of oil sand is because I added a whole mess of stuff to this wall. Last time we added the GP and RF powder, I added all of these dye blends as well as seared bricks because the ones that I had downstairs wasn't enough. I've also added in steel bars and enhanced machine parts, which we will be using for a lot of things. All the gears and polished stone that you see hiding down there. And these are the organic dye blends, pulsating crystals, and grains of piezoality, which the grains of piezoality are our throttle point at the moment for one of our other automations that's right around the corner. I've also added dark stone over here because I know we're going to be using that for a few things. I finished automating all of the machine cases, frames, chassis, all that stuff up to where we are. These are the RF tool ones, and I have a full drawer as well as a full crafter. The only thing on this wall that is still not full is these stinking enhanced machine frames or machine chassis. Grains of piezoality are the slow point because of pulsating iron, which I actually wound up running out of ender pearls. So I added something else onto our world. It's been a minute since I've had to restock this pouch. We have an enderman farm. So it's a straight up ender farm. We're here in the end. As you can see, you can ignore my death. I hate those stupid gas-like guys. It's the same thing as we have everywhere else. If I take a look, as you can see, same thing as we have everywhere else. These little guys every once in a while just kind of sit on the conveyor belts. Not a whole lot going on downstairs in this one. XP goes in the trash. Absorption hopper just goes straight into the drawer controller, which actually seems to be working well for this one. It fills up occasionally, but it does seem to grab one of everything that is in there, so it seems to move things pretty quickly. I did set it up with a compacting drawer for our ender pearls. Let's go ahead and bring some back with us. And I've swapped out ours in the overworld as a compacting drawer as well, so that we can just throw these into the system and it stores them and we still get the ender pearls. But as you can see, this has been running pretty well. I've only had this for a few hours in world and it's still insane. The sulfur is because the flying guys, they occasionally the guys that cause that. But you're about to see just how much I have gone through in resources with all the automation and passive crafting that I've set up. Most of the end pillars are gone. Shut up, guy. I have farmed out that much obsidian with all the dark steel I've been crafting. It's a bit insane. And I think I'm gonna have to do it again soon. But for now, we can get started on some of our stuff for today after I go throw all these ender pearls into the storage. Trying to decide how to do ore processing stuff. I'm also learning that our power setup may or may not be enough. It seems like our power and stuff is struggling at times. So I did also upgrade our main trunk here to signalum flux duct. That goes all the way to the generators, and it goes through the whole trunk there. So each area only has hardened flux duct right now. I will have to upgrade those at some point as well. I want to get into integrated dynamics a little bit today. We have this whole chunk in the quest book right here. It's mostly just making the parts for it. We don't really have a need for it at the moment. But like this mod, I know it is super powerful if you know how to use it. I don't know how to use it. So I don't know how well we're going to be able to really implement using it. Oh yeah, I've been working on cleaning up machines. I just have the lava fabricator, which I was out of dark steel, so I couldn't make these fluid tanks. I also made the first 5 tiers of solar panels that it wanted us to make. We can't make the next one because we need the empowered diamantine crystals. Which, that's part of where we're heading into next, is the actually additions in power, atomic reconstructor, and all those fun materials. So, I want to get to this guy, because I've had to go farm up so much soul sand, it's stupid. But I've been burning through obsidian, endstone, and soul sand, making all these chassis and stuff for all the solarium. But yeah, it's been a pain. Since we have sand automated, we can use the atomic reconstructor to make soul sand. Right here. I think it's expensive, but I also think it's one of the better options that we have. I'm hoping I don't have to do it very much, but I know that's probably wrong. Anyways, for integrated dynamics, we have a number of things that we're gonna need to be able to make to really get into it. And one set of those are the squeezer and drying basin, because we need crystallized mineral blocks. Now the squeezer, we need a fluid pump, a machine case, and dark steel ingots. I did prepare myself a stack of dark steel. If I need more, I can always make some more. I just separated that alloy smelter from the rest of the systems. I don't think I have a fluid pump sitting around. Let's make one of those real quick. And we can get our squeezer. And then we needed, was it a drying basin? Which I think I should have everything but the cauldron for. I set those mineral stuff to farm on our farming station. And check this out. I have 4,000 of everything. I actually put dark oak back up there. Maybe you guys might be able to help with this a little bit. I've been having this weird problem. Let's see if it's doing it right now. It's back to farming dark oak for the minute, because I've been burning through quite a bit of that. But let's see if it's doing it again. No. I was having this weird problem where randomly, and it just does it with these dark oak ones too, it would randomly just spread itself and take over this section too. And I'd have stuff like over here on this side too. Even though there's nothing in here. Like at one point, I took the mineral saplings out of here and I was going to let it farm up the rest, and I came back and there were even more than I started with. I'm like, how does that even happen? You don't have anything to plant. Anyways, that's... I don't understand what's going on over there. But we have our drying basin. We have our squeezer. Yeah, more mineral, more. That gives us 40 enriched mineral wood, which we're now going to use. We're going to make the mechanical versions of these. We need energy batteries to make them. Request for those? No. I've seen a couple of things for these that looked a little interesting. I think I need to make like the first 2 of these. But I think I do this. That's kind of weird. Yeah, I guess I want the regular mineral. Ah, there we go. Well, I need a couple of these blocks. We're just going to hop on this for a minute. I know we want the mechanical squeezer, which is 2 of them. And for the energy batteries, I need 2 each. Oh, I need a basic capacitor bank for these? Ew. Okay, so I need 6 of them, it looks like. Okay, there we go. We have our energy batteries. Let's grab our squeezer here. And let's make our mechanical squeezer. Which I think does require power. Yeah, it does require some power. But it means I can now just do that. I have our usual cube. Go ahead and slap you on the ground. Hey look! You're powered. Are you going to do anything? Hydroeject fluid true. Holy, that's fast. But it's also getting these crystallized mineral chunks, which I really don't care for. We have plenty of them. Will that just stack them in there? No. That is where we get to wanting the mechanical drying basin, which I think has an inventory. I need 2 more energy batteries. Which means 6 more of these. Okay, I have our stuff. Let's go ahead and see if we can upgrade our drying basin here to this one. Now I have a mechanical drying basin, which I was right. It doesn't have an inventory. Now I should be able to do that. You have some mineral resin. Let's go ahead and slap a conduit down. There we go. Okay, so this one doesn't require the lever. Hey, there we go. Now I got those nice and easy. So I will have to supply these guys with power. I'll have to supply them with the items, and then they can just kind of produce things on their own once I give them the wood. What do you think, Kyle? These guys gonna be cool? I'm kind of looking forward to trying to learn how to use this stuff, but at the same time I'm not, because it's going to be a nightmare. The network needs to see any variable you refer to, and this is the place to store them. It's that simple. The variable store. Oh, I need an ME drive. I have operation processors. We've got our variable store. That gives us some fluid stuff. I don't really care for this right now. Let's go with the exporter. I think that's going to be a little more useful. Really can't find my variable. Materializer. I want to convert a variable into a static. You can use a materializer. Simply obtain a variable card from the world or from the logic programmer. Place it inside with some fresh variable carbs, and bam. Statification. I know nothing about what this stuff is doing. Logic programmer. If you don't want to read a variable from the world, a logic programmer is a tool for you. It can create simple objects like booleans and integers, or more complicated ones like additions, subtractions, items derived from JEI, and more. You can also simply convert this into a portable version. I think this is one of the more important items for the mod. We're definitely going to need this. Need an ME controller, which guess what? I have all the stuff for. Logic programmer. And I think we could just do this. Portable logic programmer. Yeah, I recognize this screen. I know nothing about it. Oh, my brother would have a field day with this mod if he was interested in it. Let's see. Go ahead and put our variable store down here. So you can just kind of chuck variables into there whenever you need them. At this point, it seems like a good idea to... let's go with... entity. I feel like I'm going to use that one more. This is where I'm going to get into variables. So the variable cards aren't too difficult to make. They take dark steel nuggets, basic cards, which I think I have a few of in here. I have advanced cards. I don't see any basic cards. Well, they're easy enough to make. Just make a stack of them. Let's get some dark steel nuggets. And make us some variable cards. Probably didn't want to put those in there. Yeah, it varies. So these, and it gives us 16 more, are what we use in the logic programmer. And you can stick them in here. And you can add rules and stuff to it. So like if I want a block to be, say, a mineral wood block, it now applies that variable to it. You can add other things onto it. So if I want it to be anything but that block, I think I can say that. I really don't know how to use this stuff. Either way. Okay, those don't stack in there. Good to know. Yeah, I don't know how to use this stuff. I really don't. This mod is really, really powerful if you know how to use it. I don't. But essentially these variable cards are what you're going to use to set your variables to the different values that you want. You can set it up to do a wide variety of different things. You apply all your variables that you want. You set them into here. You can apply them to your entity reader. So if I say I want to just read onto that, you apply all your variables into here. And the entity reader will try to read from that based on what you're trying to do with it. Am I going to be using any of this stuff anytime soon? Probably not. But I did see a couple of things that I kind of want to see if it's usable for certain things. We need to make these logic cables, which they're inter-energy conduits. I don't know why they made them so expensive. I have a few of those. I have 11. I'm one shy of being able to make them. Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3. These inter-energy conduits. Ooh, I'm out of conduit stuff. Let's see. Let's make some of these. We're only going to make the 12 it wants us to make right now, because it gives us more. And because I really don't plan on getting a lot of this stuff set up at the moment. As we need it later on, we can easily make them. But we need inventory readers. which are storage buses, input variable transformer. This is where we start getting into the fun parts of it. This is essentially turning it into a programmer side of applied energistics. So you can use the same concepts as applied energistics through integrated dynamics. It can be very, very powerful, or it can be very, very terrible. It just depends on how you use it. I do not have a storage bus because I don't have an import bus. Oh, I'm out of sticky pistons. Ah, well, that's easy enough to fix, but not worried about that at the moment. Okay, we have our inventory reader, which, if I remember right, the inventory reader. So if I were to say, here, I know what's in that one. On there, I can attach logic cable, and I should be able to apply, yeah, there we go. Inventory full, inventory empty, inventory not empty, is inventory. This one ask is, yeah, there you go. Does it have an inventory? Inventory count, 13 slots filled, fill ratio items. You can tell what kind of items are in there. Slot item, properties, slot ID. Let's say, what is in slot 9? Which I think should be probably a portable tank. Hey, I said slot 9. Does it not read it that way? Okay, so how about slot 2? Basic gas tank. Okay, so that's an interesting thing, is that... Oh, I picked the one slot that's empty. Of course I did. Anyways, so this is essentially an inventory reader. You can use it to do a number of things. I think you can also use it to be able to extract the items from there using variable cards, saying like, if this, then pull item. And you can set it up to pull a variety of amounts, I think. As I said, I'm not a programmer. This kind of stuff is not what I usually do. I gotta make a block break. A block placer. I shouldn't have all this stuff, except for the droppers. Look at that, all our automation stuff is coming in handy. And there we have our world reader. Now this one, I can tell it, like, it'll actually look at that, and I think they have to have cable attached to be able to do anything with them. Yeah, there we go. Weather clear, weather rain. You can see what the weather time is, weather stuff is. Rain countdown. I didn't know there was a countdown. I think I could display this on a screen using this, and it'll tell me what the how much time until it rains again. Oh look, I can actually use this to measure TPS. I'm sitting at a solid 20. World name, let's plays. Yeah. Aura V. No, there's so much stuff in here. I didn't know about all this stuff. Anyways, our base here, our little section here is getting to be a mess. Anyways, we have one last one, which is a block reader. I need a block detector. I haven't made one of those yet. Wait. Machine parts from an industrial machine chassis. Oh, okay. I was pretty sure I have those automated. No, they're machine parts. One step down. So there's our block detector and block reader. So now I should be able to say, like, here, I want you to look at this, because I think this does have a disk in it. Has block, true. Dimension 0. Get coordinates, block, jukebox, tile entity NBT, biome, light level. Okay, so you can see a number of things from this. This will be something that could be useful for, say, Botania with the conversions for the pure daisy. So you can tell it to recognize when it changes over from stone into the living stone or the living wood or stuff like that. It's useful for stuff like that, particularly for other places like our plastic setup, which, if I remember right, I don't really need it for this, but you could use it and have it set there and watch this block, and as soon as this block breaks, it would recognize there's no more block there and then tell the system to place another block. I don't really need to because it's constantly trying to place it, but it's the concept. I think there's also a wrench for integrated dynamics. I have no idea where it is though. I mean, there's a lot of stuff for integrated dynamics. Look at all that. But one of the things I did see in here is, I think it was something in here. Layer simulator, that might be useful later. Oh, it was one of these things up here. Extra dimensional reader. Now, I saw something. There you go. Omnidirectional connector. Can connect to other omnidirectional connectors anywhere, including different dimensions. Now, my question is, can this actually be used to move things between dimensions? If so, does that essentially give us a dimensional transceiver concept or a tesseract without actually needing one? If so, that is insanely useful, especially for this early on, when I think the only time we can get that is next chapter. Yeah, like way over here. We got a ways to go before we get to that. But I will toy around with that off camera. I have no idea what it does. But we're actually getting to the end of this stuff that's over here. Variable store. Oh, I need another one of these. I guess I'm making another variable store. There's our materializer. We get a proxy. Expose a variable reference as an aspect, clear in a crafting grid. As I said, I don't know how to use any of this stuff. Nesting NBT extractor. This block will allow you to easily pick through any NBT tags to select just the one you want. Once selected, the variable card holding the NBT can be placed in any old variable store. You can also craft an NBT extractor remote, so you don't have to carry this block around. Ah, astral sorcery rock crystals. Presuming you remember this exists by that point. Yeah, I'll probably forget about it. But that's probably what I'm going to end up using this materializer for. I don't really plan on needing it for anything else. Can I just do that to make the remote? No? Can I see the remote thing in here? NBT extractor remote. Oh, it just takes a screen. Okay, well, I got the extractor. Which gives us a bunch of variable cards. I'm going to have so many of these variable cards and nothing to do with them. But these logic directors are one of the things that we need. Crystallized chorus chunk. How do I get you? Opt chorus. And liquid chorus. Well, you know what? I have opt chorus. I even have it automated. Let's just take a stack. We can stick you in here and see what happens. And that gives us just a bunch of this crystallized chorus. Is this stuff going to be super useful to me? Probably not. Well, I need hyper diamonds to make these. Yeah, let's make 2 of those. I don't know how many it requires for the quest. Just 1. But you know what? Sorry, just knocking things off my desk. We got these new item things. Placing this on a chest, you can declare it as the inner storage for the network. Any item picked up by the network will be placed there, and any item required will be pulled from there. Then you can use the droppers and the hoppers' cooler brothers, the world item exporter and importer. So these are essentially a storage bus, importer, and exporter from Applied Energistics. They take interfaces. I guess we're not making that anytime soon. Item importer. Takes the item interface. Okay, yeah, we're definitely not making those anytime soon. But I don't know that I'm going to use integrated dynamics for anything anytime soon. So I'm just going to kind of put it in a corner and let it be. Well, that's the extent of my toying around with that for now. Like I said, this will probably come in very much in handy for when we get later on into the pack for some of the automations for that. Am I going to know how to use it for that? No. Am I going to have to look up guides on how to figure it out? Yes. But for now, I really want to get to this atomic reconstructor. We're only going to need, I think, 2 or 3 of them for our actual automations or basic stuff. But they're not super expensive to get to. Let's make a couple of these iron casings. I don't know if I need to automate these. Okay, looking into it, it looks like yes, I am going to want to automate this. I just finished that wall. Anyways, let's take like 4 of them for now. I don't want to go too crazy on these things just yet. But essentially, we're going to be making the atomic reconstructors. And like I said, I only want a couple of them. I'll take the dark steel ingots right now because those are what I'm burning through the most. The atomic reconstructors, it will auto-fire once every few seconds. Right-click with the redstone torch to toggle its activation mode. Yeah. Oh, I need another materializer. Okay, I've made our materializer. I think that's the only one we need. I know I need these. 2 of those. I'm out of hyper diamonds. Great. Well, I should have just enough stuff to make my 2 quantum disks I need to make our atomic reconstructor. Now this is going to be a very useful item. Redstone mode, deactivation. No lens. I don't care about lens. Pulse. Yeah, I want you on pulse. Grab one of our levers. Well, you know what? We're gonna do this over here. Because I have the battery down. Now, I know the normal way people tend to do this is with the power. Is with a pressure plate. But for the moment, since we're not truly automating this, we're going to just stick a lever on top of it for now. Now, the atomic reconstructor has a number of recipes that we're going to be able to use it for. And my god, this music is just overly loud for me. The As I was saying, the Atomic Reconstructor has a number of recipes that we're going to be able to use it for. Mostly it's going to be for these block items, or rather the smaller versions of them. Doesn't take a whole lot of power. I think it's actually more efficient to do it in block form. No, it's less efficient to do it in block form. So we're going to set it up for these smaller versions when we do set this up, which will probably be next time. Because I want to collect resources and I don't have the time to do it today. But we have Restonia, Palos Crystal, Diamantine, Emeradic, Void Crystal, Inori Crystal are all the main items for this. We need Aesthetic Quartz and this Aesthetic Green block to make the display stands for the Empowerers. So I am going to set that. I'm not going to fully automate those, but we are going to make a handful of them. Because I think I need like 12 Empowerers or something. It's quite a bit. But those are block of quartz and chiseled quartz blocks. As you can see, they don't take a whole lot of power. But another thing that we can do with these is Glod. This Elevadium is our goal. And to get our Elevadium, look at the powers requirement on that. We need empowered crystal bundles, which are an empower for a crystal bundle surrounded by solidified experience. And the crystal bundle is empowered Glod, empowered Diamantine, and empowered Emeradic Crystal. And I can use an alloy smelter for that. But to do each of these, I have a number of different items that we need to be able to get, which means I need to automate some of them as well. Blaze rods we have from the farm. I don't have energized bimetal gears, and I don't have lumium gears. But we have a lot of things to do. A couple of the other ones that we can use this for, and this is one of them that I'm kind of tied on, is soul sand. You can use this on sand. So say I throw that in front of it. I can fire it and make soul sand out of it. That looks like it used a huge amount of power. It's super expensive, so I'm probably not going to be doing that a lot. But I also dislike having to go hunting for soul sand. My nether looks like an absolute mess because I've just been ripping up entire biomes of soul sand. But I think for now, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to grab the basics, which is all of this. Why is that one gold? I do not know. But essentially we need coal, iron, gold, redstone, lapis, diamond, and emerald. Let's go ahead and grab one stack of each of those, and I might be able to do them all at once. So, iron, lapis, redstone, emerald, diamond, gold, and my coal is not here. We'll have to grab that one from the system. Where's me coal? Charcoal. Coal. Let's go ahead and toss you, and you. Ah, whole pile of stuff. And that gives us... Did I miss something? Glod crystals. Did I not throw the gold? I guess I didn't. Either way, that should give us a quest. Now it's saying I didn't do the void crystals. It would help if I make sure I actually throw everything. But there we go. We got a whole bunch of stuff done from there. But even this alone, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items. A few of the other ones I do think I want to use from this are... let's see. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is one I may use later on. So I'll say 7, 8, 9, 10, and a possible 11, and an extra slot for anything that we need to actually like just manually craft, like if we need more of these things. I do want an extra one to sit around that we can use to do this, because it will split enchanted books, which I don't have any of them on me at the moment. So let's go grab a couple enchanted books that we have with multiple enchantments on them. How about this one as a good example? So this is a book that has Efficiency 3 and Frostwalker 2. 2 enchants that cannot go on the same item. If I throw it in front of here, smack the laser, I now have 2 separate books. It is amazingly useful for separating stuff like that, especially when you get enchants that can't go onto the same item onto the same book. Oh yeah, I automated dirt. That's actually a plan for something later on. You can see I set up a new wall for this. This side has gotten a bit overused. I think I'm not going to add anything else to this wall. That is already like 3 or 4 interfaces worth of stuff. That automating this mess was a lot of items. So I want to say no matter how many times this thing fires, it doesn't use power unless there's actually something in front of it. No, it uses 1000 RF every time it fires. Okay. Well, that's manageable. I'm going to try to figure out a way to set it up that this thing takes like 2 seconds to actually fire. But we're going to set it up. I got to try to toy around with this and test it in a creative world. See if I can get it figured out. Because we're going to set up a small one of these sets of walls or whatever. But we're going to set it up that it's kind of set back a little bit. And we're going to have the drawers for stuff on the middle here. And then we're going to have them like spit stuff out in front of it. And it's just going to drop in front of it. And I want it to wait a few seconds to make sure everything is there. And then it'll fire. But it's only going to spit out like 1 stack of stuff at a time. I know I can set it up to do 1 or 2 at a time. But I wanted to make sure that we have extras of everything. And I'm going to set it up so that the drawers aren't always full, but they're close to full. So kind of like we do with the batteries on our generators down there, which have been working overtime for the past couple of weeks. It will, how can I say it? It will keep them close to, but not quite full. If I set them at like a redstone level of 14, I think it is. Now this might be something I can use integrated dynamics for as well. Maybe. I don't know. This one I need to try to test and figure out how to do it. But I think that is enough of a enough stuff for today. I've been doing a lot of small things, and I have essentially burned myself out of time for today. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. I'm going to try to figure this out before next time. I'm just a little time crunched for today because I slept through my normal recording window, so I don't have a whole lot of time to do all my other recordings too. So, yeah, I'm a little time crunched today. I'm going to get this stuff cleaned up. But, as I said, that's going to be it for this time, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. I will see you guys next time. You excited, Kyle? We're going to have lasers in space. That got his attention. He's interested. He's going to come check it out.